What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Green Bay Packers Report. My name is Joey Petersen. Gonna have a lot of fun on today's show. We're going to do a deep dive into the playoff picture in the NFC. We're going to look conference-wide, and then we're going to shrink it down and just take a look at the NFC North. We're going to talk scenarios. We're going to talk what we need this weekend, and, of course, we're going to talk about odds to win the division and hopefully get back on top of that NFC North. Speaking of the NFC North, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Our November sub battle, frankly, it's not going as planned. That's okay. We still got, about a week and a half left until this month is over. Down 50 subs, or I guess 53. No, 53. There we go. I get paid to talk sports, not to do math. 53 subs down from Bears now. Make sure you guys subscribe. So that way we can pass the Vikings, we can pass the Bears, and be back at our rightful spot. So when you look at the NFC as a whole, here are how the playoff chances sit, according to ESPN. Eagles, they have greater than a 99% chance to make the playoffs. Rams high up there at 97% as well. The 49ers are at 90, Seahawks 87, Tampa Bay at 86. Green Bay, they've got a really good shot, greater than 3/4, 78%. And then you get the Lions at 71, Bears at 58, Panthers at 22, Cowboys at 7, and then an even bigger drop-off. You find the Minnesota Vikings 2% and the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones still holding out hope with a 1% shot. All that translates to this. When you look at the playoff picture, obviously your division leaders are to your left. They are your top 4 seeds. The Eagles are going to bye right now. Los Angeles, Chicago, and Tampa Bay would all host home matchups to the Seahawks, Packers, and the 49ers. Just outside of the bubble, you find in the hunt the Detroit Lions sitting at 6-4, Carolina Panthers at 6-5, and then a little bit of a step down in competition. That's where the Dallas Cowboys and the Minnesota Vikings find themselves at 4-5 and 4-6, respectively. Green Bay right now is in the playoff picture without being the lead in their division, but I still feel like Green Bay's best chance to get in and get a favorable matchup is winning the NFC North, okay? And I feel that way for multiple reasons. If you ever find yourself in the hunt, a team like the Carolina Panthers, they have the win like head-to-head over you, and I'm not interested in being in the hunt with the Detroit Lions as well. I would way rather get a home matchup, and it just feels like the fact that you've already beat Detroit and you still get to play Chicago twice, who I still think is a fraudulent team, the best chance to get a good seed and into the playoffs, just in general, in my opinion, is by going ahead and winning the NFC North. If you look at the Week 12 matchups, where they sit, this is what you can look for in this weekend of football. The Eagles are on the road to the Dallas Cowboys. Rams playing Tampa Bay. 49ers playing Carolina. Seahawks taking on the Titans. Buccaneers, like we already talked about, are against the Los Angeles Rams. The Packers are taking on Minnesota. Lions against New York. Bears against Steelers. Panthers at San Francisco. And, of course, the Cowboys at home, like we talked about, against the Philadelphia Eagles. This is what we're rooting for. This is what we need to happen. Rams beat the Buccaneers, okay? Want them to go further and further down, not win that division as far, or not as far and away, as easily as it is for them right now. You need the Steelers to beat the Bears, knock them out of the top place in the NFC North. Giants beat the Lions. You can hope, you can pray. 49ers beat the Panthers. Need them to get a little bit more losses on their resume. And the Titans, just go ahead. Let's make things chaotic. How about the Titans beating the Seahawks? Will the Packers win a playoff game? What do you think? Let me know down below in the comment section. Give me a yes or give me a no and weigh in with your answer. Coming up on the rest of today's show, we're going to do an NFC North breakdown. Don't go anywhere. We're going to look at standings, at odds via FanDuel. We're going to look at percentages via the New York Times playoff predictor. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hope you're there with me. And something else that's a lot of fun, our friends over at Underdog. The reason you're watching today's show, our great sponsor. Look, we're over halfway through November. We are almost into December. Football is in full swing, and Underdog is still the best place to get in on all the action. Let's cut to the chase. If you download the app today and sign up with promo code Packers Report, you score $100 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like rushing yards, receptions, touchdowns, and more. Get your picks right, and you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. Here is my underdog lineup for Sunday's game against the Minnesota Vikings. Going heavy touchdowns here. Higher, Jordan Love, half a first quarter passing touchdown. Higher on Justin Jefferson, half a receiving touchdown. And I've got all the faith that Matthew Golden will find the end zone for the first time in his career. Give me higher than half a receiving touchdown for the rookie. Download the app today. Sign up with promo code Packers Report to score $100 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code Packers Report. Underdog. Make picks, win money. Must be 18 or older, 19 or older in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 or older in Colorado for some games, 21 or older in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia. And present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/playing-terms_DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 helpline at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY to 467-369. Here's how things currently sit with the NFC North. Who would have believed it if someone told you, hey, after the first 11 weeks of the season, the Chicago Bears are going to be at the top? Well, I wouldn't have, and I can promise you Vegas wouldn't have either, and frankly, they don't really believe they're going to be able to finish it. If you look at the FanDuel betting odds, the Packers are leading at plus 140. The Lions right behind them at plus 145. They're basically saying, hey, it's going to be a coin flip. Who wins that division between Green Bay and Detroit? The Bears find themselves in third at plus 310. Vikings at plus 4,000. This is, if you look at FanDuel's odds, easily the best and tightest race all across the National Football League with these three at the top. And heck, I don't even know if there's a fourth place team that has worse odds or better odds, I guess, than the Minnesota Vikings to win their division. If you look at percentage chances with the Athletics Playoff Predictor, the Detroit Lions are at the top with 45%, Packers at 39%, Bears at 15%. They're not as high on the Minnesota Vikings, giving them a 1% chance. Something I think that's important to look at and maybe gives you the reason why the Lions are up at the top is strength of schedule. Right now, the Green Bay Packers have the hardest remaining strength of schedule at .592. That means the rest of the teams on their schedule, their average wins, or they are winning an average of, they're better than 500, basically. Tied for first highest. They're tied with the Chicago Bears at .592. And the Lions find themselves still in the top 10, but not as high as Green Bay at .535. Who do you think wins the division? And I'm just going to ask you between these two teams because, frankly, I believe it's only a two-team race between Detroit and Green Bay. Is it the Packers? Is it the Lions? Type GB or DET down below in the comment section. There's a chance it ends in a tie, right? We've seen that before. Tiebreaker scenarios. That's what we're going to round out this show with. You look at these three things. Head-to-head, best won-lost tied percentage in division games, and then best won-lost tied percentage in common games. So let's say it ends right now. The Packers, Lions, they're tied for the division. Here's how it would fare out. Well, you first look at head-to-head. That favors the Packers. They are 1-0. Of course, the next time they will play is next Thursday on Thanksgiving. Say they weren't. Say you had to go to win-loss tie. Well, that in the division goes to the Packers because they have not lost a divisional game yet, and we all know the Detroit Lions lost to the Minnesota Vikings about a week and a half ago. If you had to look at win-loss tie and common opponents, that would actually favor the Lions because they've beaten Cleveland, Cincinnati, Washington, and Philadelphia, and I don't think they beat Philadelphia, but you have a loss, of course, unfortunately, to the Cleveland Browns, so that would favor the Detroit Lions. Honestly, my message to the Green Bay Packers is just win. Just win. That will take care of absolutely everything. Gage, can we pull up the schedule and a List 8 logo, and then we can go back to me full screen? Like, you are so lucky to have already beaten the Lions. Not lucky, you did that yourself, but you get to play them one more time. The division leader, Chicago Bears, you get to play them 2 more times. And as the current recording of this video, and you watching this probably, you get to play the Minnesota Vikings 2 more times. You have 7 divisional games, or excuse me, that's terrible math, 5 divisional games ahead of you. Your fate is in your hands. Is it an easy rest of your schedule? No, it's not. Minnesota, that's the easiest games you have left to play. And then you also have to go on the road and play the Denver Broncos, who's the top of this conference. The Baltimore Ravens, they've won 4 straight games. They're looking like they're the normal Baltimore Ravens that we all expected coming into this season. But just win. Right? Take a page out of Al Davis's book and just win these ball games. If you win the divisional games, if you beat the Lions, if you beat the Bears, it will all take care of itself. But you find yourself in an awesome position. You really do, okay? You don't have to depend on other people to lose games. You still got everything left in your hands and out front of you. That's going to do it for today's show. Make sure you got me followed on social media, Twitter, Instagram. I'm on both platforms. We'll have another video coming out on Saturday for you guys. Make sure to tune in, check it out, and make sure you don't miss it. Subscribe, turn on those notifications, so that way every time we do post a video, you guys can be the first one there. All right, we're going to head out of here. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next time.